O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Today we're looking at a really comprehensive analysis of Dion Fortune. You might actually know her as Violet Mary Firth, if you're familiar with her early life.
Right, yeah. She was born into this very wealthy industrialist family, and their family motto was actually Dio non Fortuna, which basically means God, not luck.
Which is ironic, right? Because she took that massive material inheritance and completely flipped it. Like, let's unpack this. She pivoted into an incredibly deep exploration of psychology and, well, hermetic magic.
Exactly. And she wasn't just born a magician, you know. She was actually driven to it by a really severe psychological breaking point.
Right. So looking at the sources, she was working at an agricultural college. And the warden there, a woman named Lilias Hamilton, subjected Fortune to this brutal 4-hour hypnotic interrogation.
Yeah, 4 straight hours. It was so intense that it triggered a massive 3-year nervous breakdown.
Oh, wow. A 3-year breakdown. So to heal from that profound trauma, she turned to the cutting edge of science at the time, psychoanalysis. She started studying Freud and Adler.
But she felt they were missing something crucial, right? They completely ignored what she called the mind side of nature. So she leaned into Carl Jung's archetypes instead.
Basically arguing that occultism is actually just an extension of psychology. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It's kind of like trying to cure a computer virus by only examining the physical hardware.
Oh, I really like that analogy. Yeah, Fortune realized she needed to understand the software of the soul. She saw that the subconscious responds to the software of symbols and myth, not clinical diagnoses.
Right, so armed with that psychological framework, she joins secretive occult groups, like the famous Golden Dawn. But she almost immediately clashes with the leadership.
Yeah, specifically with Moira Mathers. And this leads to literal astral warfare. I mean, it sounds like a fantasy novel.
It really does. But she documented this as a terrifying physical experience. We are talking about the overwhelming stench of tomcats manifesting in her office.
And she reported fighting a giant tabby on the astral plane. She actually woke up from a trance with real bleeding scratches on her physical back.
Wait, really? Actual bleeding scratches? That is just wild.
Yeah, which cemented her belief that these psychic forces have tangible physical impacts. But because of the strict secrecy oaths of these occult orders, she couldn't just write a textbook on how to use them.
So she pulls off this brilliant workaround. She encodes real working rituals into commercial fiction novels instead, like The Sea Priestess. She included actual practices, like drawing down the moon.
And what's fascinating here is her underlying theory. She believed that narrative fiction bypasses our analytical resistance.
Right, so it implants these magical archetypes directly into the reader's subconscious.
Exactly. It gets in without your conscious mind throwing up its usual skeptical defenses.
So she scales this up, right? From fiction to a literal global conflict. As World War II breaks out, she organizes the magical Battle of Britain.
Yes, she led nationwide telepathic group meditations. The goal was to build a psychic barrier against Nazi occult manipulation using a triple-rayed triangle of Arthurian symbols.
You mean like Excalibur, Merlin's staff, and the Holy Grail? But why those specific symbols?
Well, because they were the foundational bedrock of the British cultural psyche. She wasn't just doing magic, she was deploying myth as a sociological defense mechanism during the Blitz.
Okay, but wait. I need some pushback here. How does someone who identifies as a mystic Christian accidentally birth the goddess-centric neo-pagan movement? That feels completely contradictory.
I mean, it is the great paradox of her legacy. She defined herself as a Christian Kabbalist, someone blending Christian theology with Jewish mystical traditions.
Right, but then her romanticized fiction and her focus on magical polarity, like the psychological tension between male and female energies, kind of took on a life of its own.
Exactly. That focus became the exact liturgical scaffolding for modern Wicca. She essentially mainstreamed the sacred feminine without ever actually calling herself a pagan.
That is incredible. So why should you care about all this? Well, Fortune's life proves that symbols, psychology, and the power of suggestion drastically shape our lived reality. We're constantly navigating that software of the soul.
Absolutely. She proved without a doubt that fiction can be used as a deliberate tool to hack the subconscious mind, shaping belief systems for decades.
Which brings us back to that solid inheritance we started with, and a final thought for you to mull over. Fortune showed us that the most powerful things we inherit aren't made of steel, they're stories. So what modern fictions or media are secretly programming your psychological architecture right now?